Hello everyone again. Here is me, Pavel Shepetina, working in Group IB for the last 7 years, and Andrey Parshin, our second presenter, and we are both pre-sales manager. And today we are going to talk about new level of automatic malware analysis, called Malware Detonation Platform. So let's start. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to.
Yeah, thank you. So I will start with the company introduction, just a bit for you, so you could like get the quick glance over what we are doing. So basically, Group IB is the Singapore-based company. Right now, we're working with plenty of companies around the globe, and in total, we're protecting more than 300 million of end users with our solutions of end customers, of course. And we are known as one of the main global threat intelligence providers by Gartner and Forrester. And we are official partners of Europol and Interpol and continuously providing them with our investigation reports upon detected and unveiled cybercrimes. So having these capabilities of global threat intelligence company and being involved in so many major investigations means that we have extremely good visibility on Russian-speaking cybercrime, and not only that, and over the main threat actors, their tools, tactics, and procedures. So basically, the Group IB was founded in 2003. We started as an investigation bureau doing forensics and cyber intelligence, but after many years of incident response in most recent cybercrime attacks, we started developing an ecosystem of counteracting and cybercrime worldwide. So it all starts with the CERT activity that is our first line to receiving SOS messages and being in touch in 24/7 and 365. And then there was an emergence of our proprietary threat intelligence, then that we bring to have our customers being protected and informed about any recent malicious activity. And then there was an emergence of our threat detection system and Secure Bank Secure Portal. And the threat detection system enriches our detection and response capabilities and helps our customers to proactively respond to the threats. So I want to start like how it all evolved. So basically, when we are talking about the sandboxing and the previous and the next levels of them, you must understand that there are already like a lot of threats and criminals whose forces are focused on building advanced threats that cannot be detected before the criminal reaches their goals. To catch malware, you have to understand like how it works, its code, its capabilities, so hereafter you could detect it. So here you can see the entire picture of threat detection evolution. So it all starts with the signature-based approach, which everyone knows. The signatures will help you only with non-malicious code and traffic. And there was the emergence of traditional antiviruses and IDS solutions. And the main idea of malware analysis divides into two ways, like the static analysis and the dynamic analysis, of course. So the signature will help you with the static analysis, and the main idea is the analyzing the malware without executing it. It means that the instructions and codes are interpreted to know what the malware does and what its real aim is. So unfortunately, the static analysis isn't enough, and you must understand like you have to know about the behavior of the malicious software after it is being executed inside the PC of the user. So here comes the dynamic analysis, or the analysis of the behavioral as well. And there was an emergence of next-gen antiviruses and sandboxing technologies. At first, it starts with the fully hardware box when you have to analyze malware inside it. But with the evolution of virtualization, it was widely used into the sandboxing technologies to provide a more rapid analysis, more efficient one, and it helped to understand the previously unknown malicious code, part of targeted malware, and some of the script-based or fileless attacks. Of course, the adversaries evolved with the threat detection. So basically, when they were analyzing the sandboxing, they had to improvise, they have to adapt. And so basically, they started to use the evasion techniques to bypass the sandboxes. So basically, they started to use the legitimate services, the legitimate tools. They started to use this as their advantages, and we will cover some of those techniques that were used. And basically, you have to build your own knowledge base to cover all those possibilities, to understand how the adversaries will go, how they will execute their tools, tactics, and so on. So basically, there was an emergence of threat intelligence, and it helps to understand what is going on in your region, what is going on with your area of work, for example. And to catch this malware, you have to work in conjunction with your threat intelligence using your NTA, EDR, MDP solutions, and basically having this holistic view upon the threat and upon an adversary will help you to catch them and to prevent the possible harm that might be done to you. So basically, I meant our capabilities in fighting the Russian-speaking community and hackers, of course. And it is worth to know that it's the largest hacker community in the world. And this community was responsible for creating the vast majority of globally using banking Trojans, as Dridex, as Gozi, and Zeus. And there's a lot of them. Recently, we shared the results in a form of report upon the investigation on Red Curl, who is also presumably a Russian-speaking group. And to deliver the payload, the Red Curl used the archives, links to which were placed into the email body, despite the fact that the links were directed to public cloud storage services. The way they were disguised, tricked users into thinking that they were visiting a company's official site. So it was like perfectly prepared attack. And so basically, I manned the MDP. And what is that?
Yeah, back to Malware Detonation Platform itself. So sandboxing is basically was born, like Andrew said, maybe 15, 20 years ago. They started just physical emulation on physical appliance, then moved to virtual appliance. And till then, many things happened in cybersecurity. Attacks become more comprehensive, become more sophisticated. And to detect some really persistent attacks, you're supposed to use some interesting techniques, some also sophisticated techniques to detect these attacks, to prevent these attacks. And it's not only about file analysis, it's also about catching file from different sources. We'll also talk about it a bit more later, more focused on it. So in general, what is Malware Detonation Platform? Basically, it's next generation solution to analyze files behavior, to also emulate user behavior, to provide this analysis, to emulate specific hardware, to emulate a real environment, and also to use different techniques to catch the file itself, link itself, and also some techniques that are aimed to erase your sandbox. So let's talk about the difference between classic sandbox and Malware Detonation Platform. First example related to catching the file from email itself. So we have an email, and for example, somebody sent email with link from completely new domain name. Link is also related to new domain name as well, so it's not blacklisted. Just created maybe a few months ago, never used before. But this link is actually empty, and it was sent in the evening to financial department, for example. And in the morning, of course, yes, in the evening, it will pass all security systems. Yes, because there are nothing to analyze, completely new email, new domain name, empty link, dead link basically, inactive. But in the morning, when somebody from financial department already has this email in their email box, link becomes active, and there is a malicious file to download. So somebody click on the link, download the file, get infected. What is actually happening with Malware Detonation Platform? You need to use special algorithm to analyze all links, of course, in your company. Like, you're not supposed to click on all links, because there are, for example, can be unsubscribe link, it can be a registration link, and etc. And also you need to provide retrospective analysis for all suspicious or maybe suspicious link as well. You need to reanalyze all links. So Malware Detonation Platform will simultaneously reanalyze each inactive link from the email system. And as a result, in the morning, when link becomes active, we will have retrospective alert, retrospective detection, and it can be used for prevention in this case. Another example, also related to Malware Detonation Platform, is actually about file analysis itself. I mentioned anti-evasion techniques. There are a lot of them. We will talk about them a bit more later. Here we have a very simple example when malware just uses slip function, and basically with Malware Detonation Platform you have a lot of methods to pass it. In this case, first of all, you can speed up, and you can also use some sophisticated algorithms. For example, if you see if there are no any activity after file execution, you can actually just link up time analysis for a specific VM. Yes, of course, you have stack of VMs, and you cannot like analyze each file for 1 hour, for example. Yeah, because from production perspective, it's not possible. But if you detect something suspicious, if you see there is nothing happen after file execution, and probably there is a covered slip function, you can just automatically run up time for this analysis for this specific file, for this specific VM, and see what is happening. Because probably maybe in 10 minutes, maybe in 40 minutes, there will be something. Yeah, of course, with sandbox, you have maybe 3 minutes, 6 minutes for analysis, and then you will just skip.
So basically, we already mentioned different ways of passing of classic sandboxes. And the problem with using the operating system virtualization software is that some malware can detect when it is running onto virtual system. So basically here you can see some of the techniques that are used. So basically some DLLs, the bind checks, the HDD and SSD DLL checking for some proprietary software or drivers related to the VMware or VirtualBox, some checks onto the CPU side, for example, the level of cache, for example. And so basically there are such things as the stalling functions or sophisticated packing of executed files. So for example, the dropper has the encrypted payload inside it. Basically, after being executed, it will brute forcing the code inside it to have it extracted and have it run. So basically, what does the conventional sandboxes do? They will run this code. They will wait till the malware will brute forcing its own code, and then it will halt, because at least for malware to execute this brute forcing, it will take at least 30 minutes, maybe an hour, and so on. And basically, what can MDP do, so the Malware Detonation Platform, it can know about such techniques, and for example, it can hold this, not hold, but keep this brute forcing being run. So basically, we will wait till the malware executes its payload, and it will like lead us to the found malware. So here are some of the I already mentioned some of the techniques. So as well, it includes like the user data checks, such as the name of the user, name of directories, its activity, the language that is used. So basically, the sandbox, the conventional sandbox, won't like tune or adjust the environment to cover all those possibilities. So basically, for example, Russian-speaking hacker community wants to bypass the Russian detection or let's say threat detection companies. So basically, they don't want to work in the Russian area. But to understand like what's going on, you have to like to predict what they will check, for example. And basically, the algorithm will then check the pattern that should be chosen to have the malware being executed and detonated. So such things as the screen resolution checks, the BIOS version checks, the installed software analysis will be used by the malware to understand whether it is run under the virtual environment. So basically, you have to have the recently updated software packages regarding the Microsoft or some Office software, for example, some PDF readers. You have to have like the filled downloads folder, for example. And there is a lot of like things that you have to cover, that you have to beforehandedly cover to have your malware being detonated. So yes, and I guess that we can like proceed to the next one. So the file sources.
Yeah, of course. So yes, one of the ways to pass that sandbox is actually to use different techniques to understand this is sandbox. But you can also use some different techniques just to pass sandbox itself. Like in this case, your files won't be analyzed. So basically, what kind of sources for sandbox we have? Any kind of solution for file analysis, actually. Attachments and links from emails, which makes sense, not only attachments, but also links for downloading, file downloads, because somebody just can download specific file from hacked website, for example, from removable device, which makes sense if you allow to your employees to maybe use flash USB drivers and etc. Basically, they can just maybe bring some malicious files, maybe not some persistent threats, but some kind of unwanted software as well from their home environment. Also, messengers, social networks, when you like maybe you have Slack, Telegram, WhatsApp applications on your employee's PC, and there are working chats and etc. And you need to catch files from these sources as well. And of course, in this case, you're supposed to integrate not only with email system, not only with spam traffic, with ICAP, but also from some EDR solution and point device analysis solutions to catch files from removable devices, from download folder, basically from any kind of source related to non-email and non-traffic sources. Interesting case that most of the attacks actually happen with simple email, which is obvious, of course, because this is the easiest way, actually. Yeah, because you can use different techniques related to email, not only attachments, but also links. It can be encrypted. We will talk about it a bit more later. And also interesting way, actually, for attack right now, we just figure out that you can also integrate some kind of bot in your messenger. It can be Slack, it can be Telegram, it can be WhatsApp if you use working chats in this messenger. And you also can use this bot to get files from the sources as well, and use API of Malware Detonation Platform to analyze these files. And this bot also can automatically delete these files from these chats, or maybe hold these files like not send them simultaneously, but wait maybe 3 minutes for analysis, get API response from Malware Detonation Platform, and then only send file to the chat, which makes sense. It's not like a really popular channel for attack right now, but as you remember, attack on Twitter, which is happened maybe a few weeks ago, started with attack on Slack service. So they get access to Slack accounts, and that's how it started. So just keep in mind this channel.
Mm-hmm. So you have to be like, you have to cover multi-vectors of the attack.
Yes, for sure.
So yeah, and what's related to the email chain that was previously mentioned, of course, you can like simply add the malicious attachment being unencrypted and send it through the email. But there are some of the techniques that are used by the cybercriminals to bypass this, the first layer of your security. So basically, it became more complex, let's say. So it might be the password protected archive. The password itself might be covered in any attachment, in another attachment within the email chain, for example, or the password might be provided into the further messages, for example, or in the previous ones. Basically, when you have to, like, you got the message, you got an email saying that please have a look at the attachment. The password is, I don't know, I'm not malicious, let's say. And with the next email, you got the email saying that, oh, sorry, I just forgot to add the attachment. And he just provided you with an encrypted attachment. The sandbox, the conventional one, won't see any like words related to the passwords. It won't like brute force it. Your words, or let's say vocabulary, password vocab, won't be used in that way. Like it will be concealed from your side, but the user will remember this email chain. He will remember that he has this password. He will unencrypt it. He will use this, and he will just hack. So it's just as simple as it is. So basically, the password might be provided via different vectors, for example, and it also should be covered by your malware detonation platform, and it could be. So the third, like another comprehensive or efficient technique is to send a link for downloading the file. So basically, the red curl was one of those guys who used that trick. So basically, they provide the link to public sharing site or cloud site with the link to download decoy document that contains the first dropper, the initial dropper. And there are some workarounds with the links that might be used to bypass the sandboxes. So basically, the first one might be the usage of sharing public sites, as mentioned. So basically, when you use the Dropbox, when you use any other similar sources or resources, let's say, or services, it might be let's say a peril or a trouble for your sandbox to bypass this link for download the file. It might be that link that was previously mentioned by Pavel, for example. So basically, when you got your malicious email coming at your evening of Friday, and at the morning on Monday, it will be activated, you will be hacked, I guess. So you have to have a workaround around. So it might be a redirected link when it simply looks like a benevolent or legitimate link, for example, but redirecting you to a malicious site, for example. So your sandbox should have this capability. And as mentioned, the Dropbox custom pages for downloading the malicious payload might be as well used. So, for example, of these attacks, there was not so long ago a Garmin and CWT attacks, for example. So Garmin was a really, let's say, they lost a lot of money due to their, let's say, conventional sandboxes. So basically, the CWT also paid for ransomware to cybercriminals, and you must know like that the Garmin was attacked by infamous Wasted Locker, for example, and it is presumably connected with the Evil Corp, who is also a Russian-speaking group. Wasted Locker is a ransomware that was detected in May 2020, and the ransomware name is derived from the file name it creates, which includes the extension or abbreviation of the victim's name and the string wasted. So basically, we have some of the examples or samples of this, and we will show you a bit of it. In this campaign, malefactors used a JavaScript-based framework known as SockGolish and tracked to more than 100.5 compromised websites which masquerades as a software update. So basically, your users or customers got a notification that they have to update their software. They upload in it, like the update for Chrome browser, for example. They upload it and have all their files being encrypted, and you have to pay a cybercriminal for getting your files back. So yeah, there was one of the examples of malfunction of the sandboxes mitigating the recent and nowadays threats that are coming to the big companies. Even the big companies with a huge revenue, let's say, can't beat the nowadays ransomware. And I heard today was additional occurrence. So what this was?
Yes, I suppose you already read the news in the morning, or it's not. I can read it to you, by the way. So the American Brown-Forman Corporation, which produces, among others, one of the most famous alcoholic products in the world, Jack Daniel's whiskey, and also vodka Finlandia, as I know, became a victim of ransomware operator Sarinokibi, aka Revile. So they were infected and encrypted this morning. Yes, not like CVT example, Garmin example. They already paid millions of US regarding Brown-Forman Corporation. I don't know, did they pay already or not? But we'll see anyway. We'll see anyway, and probably they will. If they want to get their files, if they don't have any backups, probably they will. Because they're supposed to.
Yeah, that might be the case. No, it was not today, sorry. It was like already
some few days ago.
Yeah. So anyway,
let's proceed. So we already covered a lot of cases, yes, related to link analysis, related to file analysis, and file catching from different sources as well. But are they maybe something other features related to MDP that sandboxing doesn't have? Yes, of course. I think the most interesting thing, not related to file analysis and file catching, is about threat hunting. Yes, as you know, threat hunting today is basically required for any company because it's a part of the process in cybersecurity, because you need always threat hunt local threats, investigate it, and see the result, think how to improve your cybersecurity solutions, and etc. And of course, it cannot be automated for 100%, but you can use some tools to improve your threat hunting process. And Malware Detonation Platform is one of these, because basically what you can do is, of course, you can collect all behaviors related not only to malicious files, but also for clean files as well, and use these behaviors for your threat hunting. You can automatically enrich your database with indicators of compromise from your own files, yes, detected in your own network. And it will be your own threat intelligence database. So MDP can use it for that as well.
Yeah. And not only that, actually, I wanted to add that the conventional sandboxes and the usual sandboxes can't be used into the threat hunting itself to enrich. They can't enrich your context. They can't help you with the assumption of a risk. Maybe they can't say to you that it's infected file. It does something wrong. Of course it does, but you don't understand like fully or holistically like what it what it does. What is the threat that you're facing right now? So basically, the Malware Detonation Platform will enrich this context, will provide you not only the meter matrix telling you that what are the techniques that were used to bypass your solutions, for example, it also may indicate upon the existing threat that is aimed onto your infrastructure. And as a result of the work, Malware Detonation Platform provides not only this verdict upon the malicious or benign, it also includes, it also provides the risk assessment based on the behavioral markers, the network activity. It creates and it attaches the video or of file execution. It provides the attribution to a malware family or to a threat actor, for example. So basically, here is the work in conjunction with your threat intelligence and Malware Detonation Platform, which is the sophisticated and efficient in that way. So not only that, it provides a lot of IOC enrichment that will help you to cover all those things. And what's related to the classic sandboxes, just two things to mention, that you can set up some custom environment. You can't just choose the behavioral patterns that should be used to detonate the malware in classic sandboxes. You can't, I don't know, choose the region of external network.
Basically, you can, but not in an automatic way.
Yeah, of
your
course.
Solution is supposed to understand, should I change language for this specific file? Should I change region for this specific file? Should I maybe use some another environment, user environment, another name, like not Russian name, but foreign name, and etc. So of course it's supposed to be done automatically. Yes. It's not, of course, in case of sandboxing, you can change the language. Yes, I mean maybe Windows OS version and etc.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing that you're supposed to do it automatically. You need to understand during the file analysis, do you need to change the environment to analyze this file or not? So this is the case. This is about Malware Detonation Platform.
And what's related to classic sandboxes or open source sandboxes that might be used in some information security departments, for example, you must understand public sandboxes are obviously publicly available. And you should understand that everything you share or upload to these sandboxes is access to everyone, including the bad guys. And they will understand that you found their tool or their malicious file, and they will tune it. They will understand that you working on them, and they will change their behaviors. They will change their behavioral patterns. They will change their tools to hunt you further. But the MDP can provide this hidden way, so the malware won't understand that it was executed in the virtual environment. So for a threat hunting, I also can add some points, it's the critical process of understanding what's done, and I guess that we cover in our demo some of those cases. Already I mentioned collaboration with intelligence in case of enriching the sources, enriching the IOCs, for example. So basically all the information that's coming from our threat intelligence, which are the traffic that is coming onto the ISP levels, for example, the botnet traffic and so on, the connections to some malicious infrastructure, the files that are connected with this malicious infrastructure is coming not only from private resources, but also from widely spread one. We can then integrate this information containing the malware analysis, containing the techniques that are used by the adversaries, all the anomalies and techniques, for example, to conceal its actions. We can then integrate it into our threat detection system that consists of many modules, and then use this information to detonate the malware, to catch the adversaries, to hunt them. So and that's one of our advantages over any.
Only one of them. Need to say it's actually two-way collaboration with intelligence. Yes, because we mentioned that you can use Malware Detonation Platform to enrich your IOC database, And of course, you can use intelligence to enrich your database of Malware Detonation Platform. In our case, it is Polygon. You can see it here. And interesting case that in our case, we, like Group IB, can use our other solutions, other models, to improve Malware Detonation Platform as well. So what I'm talking about, you remember that we mentioned about user behavior, about information about user pattern, like his name, his software that he uses during his normal work. And interesting case that we, of course, we analyze like network level. We also do it for industrial companies. Yes, all this information will be sent to sandbox, which can be also deployed on premise. We can decrypt the traffic and etc. And we also have Handpoint, which is software for end user devices. And with Handpoint, we can catch all user behavior, not only information about processes, about installed software, about hardware and etc., but also users' patterns, like to understand their normal behavior. And we can use machine learning algorithms to interpret these patterns to our Polygon, which is Malware Detonation Platform solution. And in this case, it will be super sophisticated in case of file analysis, especially malicious file analysis, to catch some specific attacks on your company, and which is, I think, a really cool thing.
Yes? Yeah.
So
sure.
I suppose we have like 20 minutes. It should be enough for demo. So let's switch to demo.
Yep.
We want just to show you a few examples, yes, from our TDS system, especially related to Polygon, which is Malware Detonation Platform. By the way, you can ask questions during our session, and in the end, we will cover all the questions. Don't worry. So what we have here, I suppose you can clearly see my screen right now. Here you have event related to email system. Yeah, you can see like sender, you can see recipient, you can see also information about file. In this case, there wasn't any attachment, but there was a link to Dropbox to download the file, which is very simple technique actually to pass some common sandboxes. Yeah. I cannot say like all sandboxes cannot analyze the links in email, don't get me wrong, but some common solutions probably cannot click the download button on the specific download page. We have here WebEx, just general information about file. So let's take a look into report of file behavior itself. Here we have general information about file. You can see this file is actually related to Vested Locker, which were used to attack Garmin. This is actually one of these samples that we detected. And here we have behavioral markers. Malicious. In this case, we can see some common markers related to CryptoLocker activity. Yes, by the way, you can see
the extension,
extension Garmin wasted.
Garmin wasted, yeah.
So this is exactly the same file that was used to attack the Garmin. But this is actually the result of execution. So in this case, file already was executed. But I suppose in their case, why they missed? Because this specific malware also tried to evade the sandbox, try to understand there is a sandbox environment, try to pass the sandbox. And here we have non-malicious markers, but still interesting markers. You can see, first of all, process attempted to slow down analysis. Yes, so analysis was slowed, and maybe their sandbox solution like missed this thing. And also very high file compression ratio. And maybe you remember that we also mentioned in our presentation there are different techniques to pass the sandbox, and this can be one of them. Like you can pack your file with different techniques. You can also use brute forcing to unpack yourself, and etc. And these techniques actually can be used to pass the sandbox. We can also clearly see it in meter attack metrics here in defense evasion techniques. And file structure, which is really common in our case, simple archive with executed file inside. Network activity related to one specific IP. Possible, of course, to download the pickup for further analysis, information about all processes that we detected during file analysis. It's all clickable, like you can get information about created files, about all registry changed. You can also get this file for additional analysis for some kind of investigation, so which is really useful. And interface itself, in interface itself, you can also use all these parameters for threat hunting, and that's what Andrey is going to show you right now.
Yeah, so basically, as mentioned before, we have to understand like the capabilities to enrich your context, enrich your tools and your defense. So basically, the threat hunting is an iterating pattern of continuously improving your cyber defense. And basically, here are the examples like how you can download all those files that were created by the malware to then investigate them, for example. So here are the garment info and files that are describing the possibility to decrypt the file. So I want to start with the email that was sent to with malicious application related to Lazarus and the malware Pavel. So basically, it was sent with the same in the same way. So it was a Dropbox link with the encrypted archive inside it. We can from here download the email file and then to investigate it. So basically, you can check the file itself.
Yeah,
for example.
Let's look at the email.
Yeah. So I guess that you see right now. So basically, the Alice1 send the Wowly, the email containing the really like logical text with the let's say convincing Wowly to download the file to then execute it with the password came into the same message. And yeah, we're most interested in your experience. Please send me the form in 1 hour. So basically, he trying to rush the victim to be less concerned about this activity. So what we will want to see, for example, yeah, we will check Dropbox link, for example. It will link to application.exe, for example. You can download it, you can then check it, decrypt it. We're trying to put down the password and so on. And basically, here is the report related to this file. So let's check it. So as a part of the threat hunting, of course, you must understand the who is attacking you, what tools are used, and how you can prevent this. So basically, we have the attribution to the threat actors, to the Lazarus, to the malware itself, to the cyberattack that is used in this example. So basically, the MDP platform, which is our Polygon, provides the video of executing the file. So there was a form that must be filled that must be filled by the victim. So basically, after launching, it also creates it also executes the malicious activity. So the correlation and attribution to the known threat actors and malwares will provide you the quick overview upon the malware and upon the malicious activity that you might face. And here are some of the behavioral markers. So the malicious traffic were detected. It creates executable files in the system. So basically, you can see here the mmc.exe, which is the kind of, we can say that it's kind of lawful attack. So basically, they wanted to use the existing legitimate service, so which is the management console into Windows, to cover their tracks. So let's check like the meter matrix. So it's not like the huge one, because obviously the advanced persistent threats or cyber criminals trying to conceal their techniques, trying to to avoid the sandboxes. So basically, when they don't have such hardly known malicious behavior markers, they won't be detected by the conventional sandboxes. So here, for example, you can see the file structure. So it was unarchived from the zip package to then extracted as an executable file. It has an icon, for example. So the red curl used the same technique. They hit the file with the known icon of the PDF file, for example, to have it being executed. We have the network activity that's related to SBAC service, for example. So basically, we can use this as a part of our external threat hunting opportunities, and we'll use that. So basically, when we wanted to understand whether what nodes with what infrastructure it is connected with, we will use this graph tool that helps us to understand the possible connections to already known infrastructure of cybercriminals, and then to enrich the IOC. So basically, you can check the emails, for example, that was used to check them through your solutions, for example, so you could find like whether there was any additional emails coming from these sources or not. You can get the information which tank has it. So basically, it is related to the Lazarus and cyberattack here, and you can see like the objects that is connected with. So basically, it provides you the quick glance over the threats that you are facing right now. So here is a part of our threat intelligence, and we are constantly checking and scanning whole IPv4 address space to understand and to unveil the hidden infrastructure of adversaries. That helps us to investigate this kind of activity and to detect beforehandedly those connections and malicious files. So there was a report that was there was a report that I just missed. So basically, it was like that. I want to show you the IOC enrichment that is possible through our MDP platform. And basically, I want to show you like the basic threat hunting capabilities. So we saw that it creates some mmc.exe file. I will use that as a source of our hunting process. So I want to go to the hunt point events to then show you like, as a part of threat hunting process, you have to understand whether you was hacked or not, and you must like know about the things that you have to search for. So basically, we know that the mmz.exe was used into this attack. So let's try to find them. So here we can see like the hostname vs1 that was created that creates the mmc.exe into public directory. Right now we can't like support the hypothesis that we were hacked, but let's check like the child processes and the processes that created the sub processes. So basically, you have to go for process unique ID and search for it. So I will like extend my visibility over the processes that were executed. And here we can see like the process completion, the specific registry key read, the file deletion. So basically this MMC file was deleted as well. So to hide and to conceal this activity. And here you can see all connected activity that has led you to uncover this kind of activity. So I want like to share this a bit, and I will just add one of this child process as a part of my hunting. And here, we extend this visibility that came from the very beginning of this attack, when the application exe was created, was launched. Then it tries to handle to the threat copy creation. And here you can see like all the harm that was done by the malicious software that was used onto this endpoint with our endpoint install. So basically, the MDP platform helps us to enrich this context and then to find any inputs coming from this malicious file or from this adversary. So I guess, yeah, that was pretty straightforward. I tried to cover all this. And that was the end of our demo. We didn't want to bother you with the long presentation and so on. So basically, it's always more interesting to hear some questions from you and to answer them than just
Hope you really enjoyed it.
Yeah, hope you really enjoyed it.
So I see there are already some questions. First of them, do you have any comparison? Do you have any comparison between your solution for Sandbox and Checkpoint? Yes, we have some. Just send us email. You will have, actually, you already have contacts on your screen and QR code, and you also will have a follow-up email. So just send us a request, and we can provide you some interesting information about related to comparison. Question: Is MDP solution in TDS or it's a separate solution? So yes, MDP is a part of. MDP is basically a new level of sandboxes, right? And our MDP solution is Polygon, and Polygon is a part of TDS, but it can be used separately without other models as well. And also all TDS models can be installed on premise, like without sending information to our cloud at all.
Yeah, we have like flexible options to deploy these solutions, and MDP is one of those who can be provided as on-prem solution. It can be used in cloud. It can be used as in the virtual environment. And basically, yeah, we have like different options providing that.
If I understood, the MDP probably has extra tools for investigation and threat hunting than 4G Checkpoint. Am I right? So regarding comparison, we will send it to you separately. Just get us an email. And about your question, no, it was actually last thing related to threat hunting was about collaboration between different TDS models. Like we have Handpoint, we have Handbox itself, we have Polygon, and we just use some indicators of compromise from Polygon to provide threat hunting process with using of our Handpoint. But you can also use these markers to threat hunt in any way, in any solution. Like we have a really cool, interesting interface for that, because we are like providing threat hunting for the last several years, and we also have our forensic team. We have our own threat hunting specialists, and it's one of the best interface for that. But of course, you can just get indicators of compromise from Polygon itself and use it in any kind of solution for threat hunting. A lot of questions. Thanks for webinar.
So I would like to ask whether you use MISP and OSINT platform during your investigations, and maybe you have suggested any other useful platforms for active intelligence out there.
First of all, we have our own threat intelligence solution, and we have access to, we use some different OSINT platform as well. It's a good question more maybe for our incident response team,
but actually,
and for third team, for Intel team as well. But you need to know that the most important source for us is our own threat intelligence, because I think it's a different story. I can tell it about maybe 1 hour about our threat intelligence. But we use different sources. We have our own sources. We have
proprietary threat intelligence, by the way.
Yes.
So you can use our threat intelligence or a part of it as a graph that I showed you as a part of your investigation or external threat hunting. That's better to say. And yeah, it is right inside our Handbox, and you can use that if you have Handbox installed on your infrastructure.
Big thanks for a great presentation.
Have
a great day from Marius. Marius,
thank you. You too. So is the threat actor attribution part of the MDP? And basically, yes.
It's a part of Polygon.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to do it at MDP. If you're not like, if you think you have an MDP solution at Sandbox, of course you need to use some attribution system. And we have it in Polygon. Yes, it is a part.
Yeah. And yeah, pretty straightforward and briefly. So
in terms of threat intelligence, it's an additional topic. Yes, you're asking how do you compare yourself with this FARI? It's a completely additional topic. Like it can take several hours because we need to show you how we provide threat intelligence. And if you want to know more about it, just send us a request and we will show you why.
Or you can write onto the info@groupib.com to have all this kind of visibility over our products, and we can do a demo for you. We can show you like how it works, what are or we're going, I guess that we can even do a TI webinar that's related to this topic to cover all those questions.
Don't forget that you also can have a POC, not only with CDS, but also with
any our product. Yes. Actually,
Yes.
Yeah. And thank you all for your questions.
Wait for your email, Do you have tools for blocking threats and web traffic automatically?
Oh, yeah.
So it's also complicated question related to this. We have blocking capabilities, a lot of it. Always depends on client side, like what do you want in case of detection, in case of blocking, and etc. So we have several options. We have different kind of integration with different sources, with ICAP, with file share systems.
With store solutions as well. So basically, we can provide the enrichment of IOCs or even the alerts onto these kind of solutions. And we can block those threats.
Basically, we have a good marketing materials on our website, and we can also provide you technical documentation. Just send us an email, and we will share it with you if you are interested.
Or I want to add, like, we can detect and prevent this possible harm even on approach, having like been integrated into the email flow. So we have like two options there, but it's not like totally related only to MDP platform. It's mostly related to the whole TDS solution. And we can even block the threats on approach, like from the emails that is coming to your infrastructure or any like other vector.
Interesting thing, it's not only about blocking, it's also about retrospective detection as well, because if something passed, like inactive link, inactive something, but then it activated, so in this case we will also have retrospective detection, and we also use some cool algorithms to create automatic incidents in our interface to notify clients about critical incidents. We have different options for MSP providers. We have different options related to our CERT department, like we can analyze all events related to TDS in your company and notify you in any time by phone, by email, and etc. So we have many different options related to notifying, automatic notifying, automatic creation of incidents, like really interesting system related to optimization basically of your work related to alerts and events analysis.
So I guess that so the questions are ceased to an end. Unfortunately we have to leave. And thank you all for participating. Thank you all for your questions. We're really glad to show you all those capabilities and evolution of those systems, such as the MDP platform. Thank you from my side. It was Andrey Parshin
and Pavel Shepetina. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.